And this is a video I've wanted to make for quite some time. I'm Brandon Boyd. Thanks for joining me on The Brandon Boyd Show. If you've watched this channel long enough, you know that we do a lot of travel. Heck, a lot of the videos that I record for the channel are from our travel locations, and thank you all for being patient as I upload those while I'm traveling. The reason we're able to travel so much is because we use points and miles to stay at places for free that we otherwise probably wouldn't spend the money for on our own. In this video today, I'm going to talk about our top 5 favorite places that Kayla and I have stayed, whether it's a family trip or an adults only trip. We're going to talk about our top 5 favorite places we've stayed on points. We're going to talk about the cash value and how many points we used to stay instead of paying that cash value. We're going to go into detail on this, on why we like these particular properties. So this one's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to share these with you. And these are our honest opinions, okay? Some of the properties that we've done reviews on are left out of this. Hey, you just don't make the cut. We keep it honest here, and I really hope you enjoy this. Before we get started, if you do find this video helpful or mildly entertaining, don't forget to be awesome. Give me a big thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notifications for alerts. And if you're in the market for a new credit card, make sure you click on the link in the description below. That's our referral link for the channel. When you apply for a new card using that referral link, it greatly helps support the channel. And I can't thank you all enough for doing that so far. You guys are rocking it. Thank you all so much. I don't know if this is coming up on the video or not, but I am wearing a Christmas Mickey Mouse shirt. It's the holiday season, but also we're taking a Disney cruise here right before Christmas, so I'm looking forward to that. We're always traveling, and I'll be dropping some videos while we're on the cruise as well. I've already got those done, so make sure you keep an eye out for those. We've got a lot of stuff to cover in today's video. Keep in mind, these are just our own personal opinions, and if you have some properties that you've stayed at on points, make sure you leave that down in the comments too, because that will help someone out. We got a lot to cover, some exciting properties to discuss. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go. First of all, let me start out with some honorable mention properties that just missed the cut in our top 5. First is the Palazzo at the Venetian, and we used our FHR credit through the Amex Platinum card, and we get $200 per calendar year. We each have the Amex Platinum card. And Vegas is a great use for these credits. The lowest rates are usually Sunday through Thursday, and you can usually find rates around $250 per night during those times and only have to pay out $50. Fine Hotels and Resorts does have experience credits, free breakfast, late checkout. You must book through the Amex portal, which is really important, and use the pay now option, and make sure you pay with that Platinum card. We really like this property. The breakfast was very surprising, and heck, it's right on the strip. They upgraded our room to a strip view, and the room was absolutely gigantic. So make sure you check for that review down in the description if you want to see more. And next is actually a combination of 2 different properties. The reason I couldn't include either one of these 2 properties in my top 5 is because they were each missing something that I thought was pretty important in order to get into that top 5 status. The 2 properties I'm talking about are the Grand Wailea and the Hyatt Regency Maui. Let's start with the Grand Wailea first. This is a great use of a Hilton free night certificate if you can snag a standard room award availability. We stayed there for 5 nights on points to get the 5th night free plus 2 free night certificates. Usually it's around $1,000-ish per night. The large pool area is definitely a plus. There are a ton of pools there. The beach is huge and the sand is absolutely perfect for sand castles. I know that sounds silly, but trust me, when you touch it and start making sand castles, you'll know what I'm talking about. The luau is absolutely legendary. The on-site taco truck is where I stayed most of the time. I was having cocktails, going to the beach and pool, and going to the taco truck. It made for a nice little circle for me pretty much every day I was there. The negatives here that really kept it out of the top 5 were the air conditioning. It was hot and the air conditioning could not keep up. We had to actually ask them to bring in 2 box fans to cool the room down. And there were some overall renovations that were needed as the property seemed to be aging a little bit. And those are supposedly being done right now. Now let's move over to the Hyatt Regency Maui. At 25,000 points per night when we stayed at 2 nights for a total of 50,000 points. And usually this runs somewhere around $550 to $750 per night. With this property, you do get club access for globalists. It has a deep pool. The on-site shave ice and picnic tables were amazing. But the negatives, the parking is a big issue. I hated the parking situation here. It was a big pain in the butt. And the beach is very, very small. I checked the beach size in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. It never got bigger. And there are some issues right now with erosion on the beach that while we were there, they were trying to take care of. But to be honest with you, I don't see myself laying out on this beach. It's kind of steep. You can't really walk on it very cleanly. And I'm not a fan of this beach whatsoever. Maybe they'll come up with a solution there, but I think this is a major problem. Overall, the property itself was unbelievable. It was great, the service was amazing, but between the parking and the beach, it can't be in the top 5. Okay, Brandon, all right, those are the honorable mentions. Can we get down to business and get to the top 5? Yes, we can. Let's get into the top 5 right now. Coming in at number 5 is the Chicago Athletic Association. The Chicago Athletic Association is a Hyatt Category 4 property, and it's a great use of Hyatt free night certificates. Category 4s are $15,000 per night, or you can get off-peak at $12,000 per night. Now keep in mind, you can earn these free night certificates in a few different ways: through credit card anniversary renewals, Brand Explorer when you try out 5 new brands, $15,000 in spend on the card within a calendar year, and when you hit 30 tier qualifying nights in a calendar year. Now this property usually runs between $250 to $400 per night. The location is amazing. It's right next to Millennium Park. It's very walkable. It has a historic feel and a lot of unique features that just make it feel different than everything else that's out there. It's great for athletes and families. It's got a lot of gaming areas, an indoor basketball court. The inside bar and game area has an old-time feeling. It's really hard to explain, but it makes you feel like you're in old-time Chicago, where you should sit back and have a cigar, have a bourbon, play some bocce ball, play some foosball, play some pool, listen to some music. And big bonus here, the Globalist breakfast, while it could have been expensive, it wasn't, because we got it for free and it was absolutely amazing. We love the breakfast here. The big negative with this property is the thermostat during transition times of the year. This is kind of hard to explain, but let me explain it the best way I can. These properties are either all on heat or all on cooling. So when you have those transition periods where the temperature can fluctuate 30 to 40 degrees in one day, and you can only turn on heat or you can only turn on cooling, it can make it really difficult to get comfortable in the room during these seasonal transitions. Other than that, we would totally stay here again. I love the property. Coming in at number 4 is the Thompson Central Park property. This is a Hyatt Category 6 property, usually $25,000 per night, but we stayed during peak and paid 29,000 points per night, or roughly 87,000 points for our total 3-night stay. Now the cash price for those 3 nights, had we not used points, was going to be close to $2,800. The benefits of this property: first of all, a terrific location. It is right across the street from the Park Hyatt location, and we may talk about that one here in just a minute. But the location of this is absolutely fantastic. It's in a really high-end area of New York City, a very safe feeling place. If you're not sure where to stay in New York, you can certainly count on staying in this area. And the breakfast, oh my gosh, it was fantastic. We got free breakfast while we were there. The cocktails were also very unique, and they even have their own bourbon up on the top shelf in barrels, which is really cool. It's also got a very loungy, kind of laid-back feel, so when you go in, it doesn't feel stuffy like you might expect from other properties in this particular area of New York City. If you're going to stay in this area of New York City, it is a great bang for your buck. This property offers a lot for the amount of points that are needed. So if you're looking to save on points but stay in this area, the Thompson is where it's at. It's really close to Central Park as well, hence the name Thompson Central Park. Location is what it's all about when you're in New York City, and this place definitely has it. Coming in at number 3 is the Waldorf Astoria in Orlando. And we've actually stayed here twice, and there are several reasons for that. The first time was 5 nights to get the 5th night free on points with Hilton, and that was 90,000 points per night. The second stay was 3 Hilton free night certificates, and we got these certificates a few different ways. We got them through our Hilton Aspire card. Whenever we renew the card, we get a free night certificate. And there are also spend bonuses on cards that periodically pop up. And if you spend $15,000 per calendar year on the Hilton Biz and Hilton Surpass, you also get a free night certificate. So the cost for this property normally is between $550 to $750 roughly. The food here is terrific. The Bull and Bear restaurant is one of my favorite restaurants I've eaten at on planet Earth, just quite frankly. Make sure you get the tableside dessert and the tableside Caesar salad. You can thank me later. The pool bar actually serves really good food as well. I typically don't rave about pool bar food, but this one is the exception. It also works well for both couples and families, and they've just opened their kids zone back up, and they have all kinds of activities like scavenger hunts and lots of other activities to keep the kids busy. Very cool. The pool is huge. It's very casual and relaxed, and it never felt overcrowded. Even when we stayed there, it was sold out, but the pool area never felt like it was overcrowded. There are some places we've stayed at where if you don't go down and put your stuff on a chair at 7 a.m., then there are going to be no chairs available. That is simply not the case here, even on a busy weekend. The location is very convenient to the theme parks. The negatives, both times that we've been here, there's just been endless construction. and it's not super noisy, but it's there. It's kind of an eyesore, and it just doesn't look great. Also, the valet, I've got to be honest with you, it's very, very slow, and it's slow because the parking structure where they have to get the cars is kind of far away. So you've got these guys running back and forth like madmen trying to get your cars, and there are just simply so many people trying to leave in roughly the same time to go to the theme parks, to go to dinner. It can take a long time to get your car. So if you want to get your car at the front of this property, you need to give at least probably 20-30 minutes notice for your car to get up front. It's always taken a long time. I hate that part of it, but overall, we really like this property. Would I stay there again if I'm going to Orlando? Heck yeah, I would. All right, we're in the final two right now. And let me say this, Kayla and I actually may differ on number 1 and number 2 here, but we both agree that these two are the top 2 places that we've stayed at. It just depends on which one of us you ask, which one is our particular number 1 property. Coming in at number 2 for me is the Park Hyatt New York City. This is now a Category 8 Hyatt property, which is 40,000 points per night, 35,000 off peak and 45,000 at peak. We booked it when it was still a Category 7 property for 30,000 points per night, and we used one Category 1 through 7 free night certificate earned when we hit 60 tier qualifying nights with Hyatt. The 2 additional nights on points were at 30,000 points each night. This property usually runs between $750 to $1,000 per night for the cheapest room. The location is great, and keep in mind the Thompson Central Park is right across the street from this property. But the location, it's really hard to beat. Close to great shopping, close to Central Park, very convenient. This is gonna sound crazy, but the fries with the garlic aioli at the bar, phenomenal. They were so good. We still talk about those every time we go to New York City. Food overall that was served on the property was just really good. The pool and hot tub area are very unique for a New York property. The pool is actually very big and the hot tub is gigantic, and it's actually hot. I hate going to resorts where they say, yeah, we have a hot tub, and you go in and it just feels like a bathtub. I want a hot tub, something that's actually gonna heat up, all right? The heated floors in the bathroom were a very nice touch, and the rainfall shower, oh my goodness. I just stayed in there and just stood for like 20 minutes and did nothing. Just played some music in the bathroom and just stayed under the rainfall shower. Very relaxing. There were also discounts and free coupons for things at Le Labo, Nordstrom's for a free drink, and even a free bike rental. The fitness center was very large and overlooked Central Park. The only negative that I could really think of is that it could be difficult for families to stay here due to the room size. And that's kind of the nature of New York City in general. You're not gonna find overly large rooms because there's a lot of people that need to cram into these buildings, so they're not gonna make the rooms huge. So just keep that in mind if you are traveling as a family trip. It may be a little bit more uncomfortable, but still a great property overall. I can't say enough good things about the Park Hyatt New York City. All right, we've made it to the end of the list, and this is my favorite property. I would go here again in a second if I ever wanted to get away. You may know what it is from a review that I did earlier this year. The property coming in at number 1 for me is Ventana Big Sur. Now this is a Category 8 Hyatt property, which is 40,000 points per night. It's 35,000 off peak and 45,000 at peak. We booked it when it was still a Category 7 for 4 nights, and then we decided to add 2 more nights after it switched to a Category 8, so we did have some fluctuation in what we paid for points there. All right, now brace yourself for this. This may hurt a little bit, okay? Usually this property runs between $2,500 and $3,500 per night. That's before taxes and fees, and we stayed here for 6 nights. Talking about getting a great bang for your buck on points, my goodness, this is why we use points for trips like this that we probably otherwise would never pay that amount of money for. This is an all-inclusive property with food. It's adults only. It's got a completely remote feeling, and it feels like a true getaway, like you are out on your own. There are a bunch of different nature activities. I highly recommend the bee and honey class. I thought it was very interesting. The scenery on site is amazing. Also, let me say this, for an all-inclusive property, the food far exceeded my expectations. I've stayed at some all-inclusive properties where the food was average at best. That is simply not the case here. The food was delicious. So if you want an all-inclusive property with actual good food, this is great. This property also has probably my favorite hot tub that I've ever been in. Number 1, because it actually gets hot. We have a hot tub at home right now, and it usually hovers around 102 degrees. This one actually may have gotten up to like 103, I'm not sure, but it was actually hot. while we were in there. The only negative here is I wish they would have included more activities for free considering the cost. Now, there are a lot of free activities, but it seems like they were nickel and diming you for additional things like an axe throwing class for $30. For people that are paying $3,000 a night to stay here, I think the least that they could do is offer an axe throwing class minus the $30 fee to do that. Just my opinion. Overall, great views, great scenery, food, service, everything was excellent. I would stay here in a heartbeat, and I highly recommend everyone try to stay at this property at some point in your lifetime. You will not regret it. All right, so that was my list. Let me know what you think about this, especially if you've stayed at any of the properties that I mentioned here. Do you think I'm off base on anything I said here? These are all opinions, but we travel a lot. I love to nitpick places and critique places to try to help you out to figure out where to stay, all right? There's a lot of different places to stay, a lot of points, a lot of money involved. I want to make sure you get an honest opinion from me. Nobody paid me to stay at any of these properties. It wasn't part of any kind of marketing collaboration with Hyatt or Hilton or anything else. I paid with my own points to stay here, so I'm going to give you the full review on it. Also, for any reviews of the properties that I mentioned today, make sure you check the links down in the description below if you want information on particular properties. It should also be worth noting that in those property reviews, you'll see timestamps in the descriptions for each of those videos. So if there's something specific you want to know about a property, make sure you go to those timestamps in the description of each video, and you'll be able to see the different topics listed, and you'll be able to go to whatever you want to see in that particular review. Let me know what places you've stayed at that you would put in your top 5. What kind of points redemption did you get? How much did it cost in cash? Let people know, because we have a lot of new people in points and miles that, number one, are not only trying to figure out how to earn points and miles, but they're trying to figure out how to redeem them to get the best value. I think hearing from everyone's experience will help a lot of people out here. Keep in mind, if you are interested in applying for a new credit card, use the referral link down in the description below. When you apply using that referral link, that greatly helps support the channel, and I can't thank you all enough for doing that so far. If you found this video helpful or mildly entertaining, don't forget to be awesome. Give me a big thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notifications for alerts, and when you click on the Brandon Boyd Show, click, you'll get the latest information on credit cards, points and miles, travel, money, finance, and everything in between. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. We'll see you soon.